Bakugo, the screaming, narcissistic, megalomaniacal, blonde-haired jerk from My Hero Academia. The tsundere of the franchise, a guy wrongly perceived by many as a flat character with no development, claiming that he never has a progress as such, with the argument that in one chapter he may have a small flash of evolution but the next he is back to being the usual screaming bully and egomaniac. What's up guys? I'm Mr. Botaku, the YouTuber with the weird voice, and let's talk about the misunderstood Katsuki Bakugo. The first thing to say about Kashin is that he perceives himself as the main character. He thinks the other characters are mere extras in his life. In a world where there are three options, you are born without quirk and you are a great person, you are born with some weird and useless quirk that makes you look weird, or you are born with a cool quirk that makes you look cool and also powerful. Kashin's case is the third one. The guy activated his cozy eye when he was 4 years old, a very young age. That's why he was showered with praises from a very young age. So much praise boosted his ego to an immense level. All those words got on him, so he quickly became a narcissistic child. He started to look down on everyone. And not only that, he also seemed to be lacking in empathy, capable of saying hurtful things to people without thinking about their feelings. He was verbally reckless, especially when it came to Deku. Unknowingly, the little boy became a bully, aiming to become the #1 hero no matter who gets in his way. To have a noble goal like being the #1 hero, he had unworthy methods for this. He seemed to aim more at being a villain, reckless, violent, and impulsive. But no one is born bad. Apparently Katsuki had a somewhat rough home childhood, and it's not that he has bad parents or that they abused him, not at all. However, his mother, from whom he basically inherited his personality, was and is a very harsh mother to him. Although she knows the potential of her son, she always made him see that he was just a weak kid. We see this from his presentation, where she said some harsh words, arguing that he was someone weak and that's why he had been kidnapped, which resulted in his retirement as a hero of All Might, the idol of Kashin. That was what the boy had to grow up with, a submissive father who said little to him and an impulsive mother who held nothing back when expressing her son's shortcomings. She did it so that other people's praise would not go to his head. However, what she achieved was to create a frustrated child. Deep down, Katsuki wanted to prove to his mother that he was someone strong, capable of shutting her mouth, and he saw himself living up to the expectations of those who fawned over him. As I said, so much praise at such a young age took away any sign of humility in his mind. He always had in his head how great he was and how he would reach greatness. Besides, throughout his life everyone made a fuss about anything he achieved, both with his quirk as with any other activity. The kid was a prodigy in everything. So much praise provoked this superiority complex, until a little green-haired boy appeared, humble, quiet, with the dream of becoming a hero like his idol All Might, the one who saves people with a smile. However, Deku had no quirk. Bakugo always saw him down and even suggested him to throw himself down a building for not having quirk. Bakugo became a product of his environment, the insecurities his mother remarked, his impulsive and aggressive personality mixed with a massive ego and narcissism. Yet that powerless little boy was the first person to humiliate Katsuki. He always saw Deku as a weakling, a cockroach beneath him, someone who would never have a chance to even come close to compare to his strength and power. But everything changed when a young Kashin slipped and fell into the river. No one did anything for him. The only one who moved quickly, worried about his friend, was Izuku. Yes, the noble powerless boy extended his hand to help him. This moment was key in the relationship of these two. Bakugo took this action as an insult, as a dry shit kid with no weak power thought he could help someone powerful like Bakugo. For the first time, Katsuki looked up to someone. In his head he began to gnaw at the thought that Deku was better than him. He hated that Deku loved to help people no matter what. That always made it seem like no matter how bad the situation was, everything would be fine, because he's there. Reminds them of someone. While Kashin thought that you couldn't beat anyone just by saving people, the important thing was to defeat the opponent. They both aspired to be #1. Clearly the one with the advantage was the mighty Bakugo. However, upon entering the UA, he would realize who the protagonist of this anime is. And all those praises and expectations he had were gradually overshadowed by a Deku with a new super quirk. Here, a series of events happen that give the self-centered Cashin a slap in the face of reality. Starting with his defeat against the little green-haired boy in the first training battle, in the sports festival where he realized that he should not underestimate any rival or partner, and where he felt defeated by Deku once again, not being able to get all his power to a conflicted Todoroki. He was forced to put his pride aside to team up with Deku for his final test against All Might. Being kidnapped by the League of Villains, which made him feel totally weak, causing the retirement of his idol All Might. Falling behind all his peers by not getting his provisional hero license, discovering the truth of the bond between Deku, whom he always saw as a weakling, and his idol All Might, seeing who is the true protagonist of this series. That greatness he aspired to because of the praise was slowly being torn down by each of these events. And worse yet, Deku, a person he always viewed with disdain, was positioning himself in front of him all the time. Bakugo finally realizes his own weaknesses. He realizes that he is Deku's Vegeta. Deku's strengths were slowly denting his ego and pride. Eventually he became aware of his mistakes. He became analytical with himself and the people around him. Although on the outside he continued to act like the bully, inside he knew how to see the abilities of each of his teammates. In his own way he began to work as a team. In the manga he even apologized to Deku, calling him by his real name and not by the nickname he gave him. However, all this evolution is not seen from one chapter to another in a single arc. That's why many people think that he does not progress. His progress is slow but steady, little by little throughout the series. His personal journey has been to realize that he is not the superior being he thought he was. He is just another guy, and now he is aware of it, and even being aware that he is not the main character, he continues with the same goal of surpassing the #1 hero. Leaving us one of the best character development in the series. Each event since the beginning of the series began to change his life, and his perception of everything, finally being able to see his own flaws to become a better person and hero. And well, this was a reflection I wanted to get out. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? What do you think of Cashin? Do you agree with me? Or do you still think he is a blonde and screamer who will not change? Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and see you in the next video. I love you, bye.